No, it's tradition. I think you'll find that we need a coronation ceremony or it's not official. Okay. Hello. Welcome back to Talking Shit with a Yank and a Brit.
I'm the Yank.
And I'm the Brit. Howdy.
Hi. Good evening.
Good evening. We're doing an evening record.
Mm-hmm. Happy Friday. We have some fucking corrections we have to do, right?
We do, yeah. We've decided to do Keith Corrections Corner. For the listeners, Keith is my housemate, who kindly listens to the podcast. However, he has some issues with some of the things we are telling you. So I thought
I'm
we'd
sorry.
do.
Keith Correction Corner is just, it's got a nice alliteration. Anyways, let's hear it. What did you have for us?
So I believe in a previous episode we talked about when you and I went tubing. When
Yeah.
we stayed at the lake, and we
I was
stated in
there.
that episode, you were there, correct? We stated in that episode that it was only me and you that had the courage to get on that tube and whiz around the lake. However, I have been forcibly told that Keith also gave it a try.
You know, Keith, if you're listening, I am so sorry
Deeply sorry.
that I excluded your bravery, your boldness that day on that lake, that we didn't even acknowledge you. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. No, for real. My bad. But
We genuinely forgot.
I
We're
didn't
sorry
I
about
don't
that.
think I actually went with Keith on it. I just was on it with you and just have very vivid memories of you going, "This is hell."
Yeah,
I'm
it
in
was.
hell.
Second correction of the day.
There's 2?
There's 2.
Damn it.
Actually, this might be a correction for Keith. So we're flipping it
Oh,
back
okay.
on you.
All right.
He mentioned that when we were talking about your wedding,
Mhm.
and again, I think it was me that said that he and our friend Alex was Sean's best men on the day.
Mhm.
He pointed out that actually Ryan
Mhm.
was the best man. However, I believe you have some notes on this. Okay.
I do. We didn't have any sort of like, I don't know why I can't think of the word, pamphlet. We didn't hand out pamphlets that like designated roles or identified who anybody was. And if everyone gave speeches. So if I recall correctly, everybody was Sean's best man. In fact,
The best people.
I was Sean. Yeah, I was Sean's best man even. My bridesmaids were Sean's best men. So I understand the need for clarification, but I also don't think that we really we publicized who was who in that role. And Keith, you're a best man in all of our hearts.
Glad we cleared that up. Thank you.
Yeah, now that we got that out of the way, keep them coming, Keith. We'll do Keith's correction corner every time if we have to. We appreciate the feedback. Okay.
So
God,
what have
I
you been up
love when
to?
people tell me I'm wrong. Oh, so much. I was on vacation for a week. And like I'm really tired from it. I was in Maine visiting my friend Lauren, and another friend of ours, Brittany, joined, and it was pretty fun. It was tiring. We did a lot, ate a lot, drank a lot, feeling a bit puffy. But I think I messaged you one night, probably well after you were asleep, I was like, I have a story for the podcast.
Yes. Tell the
So
story.
one night, for those of you who follow us or me on Instagram, I posted that a couple mid-30 something women went to the club, and it was after 9 o'clock before we even left, and it was really hard because that's really late. But this is where the story takes place, was at the club.
The
um
club.
in the club, yeah. It was fine overall. I mean, I not my scene really, but we found some seats and had some drinks and we could hear each other talk. So that's kind of what I need.
Found a nice
Um
quiet corner.
God, did I just sound like I'm 65 years old?
A little bit.
And there was a varied range of people, ages, backgrounds, whatever. We got dressed up because we were like joking about we're going clubbing, so bedazzled eyes, jewels. We're like, let's be sparkly. Do we get other club wear? I mean, so we kind of just jokingly went all out and uh sitting at the bar having a drink, and this gal kind of sidles up next to me, and I could feel her looking at me, and I was just like, all right, whatever, like it's fine. I probably look weird. And she leans over and she's like, I like your hair. Thanks. I love when women compliment other women because it feels like
Yep.
it's just like genuine, right? And I was just like, thank you for saying that. I really need to get it cut, but I'm glad it looks okay today. And I could tell she was drunk, and because she said something like, I need a haircut too. And she kind of mumbled, and I was just like, thank you, and turned away. Um, while she was ordering, got her drink, and eventually just like slaps a business card down with a phone number scribbled on it and just goes, I just really like your hair. And then walked away. And all the people I'm with are just looking at me. And I'm like,
You just get
did
hit
I
on.
just did I just get hit on, or does she just want to talk about my haircut? I don't know.
Oh god. So
And
did you call her?
I no, here's the thing is, and I honestly wanted to just be like, "Hey, gal, are you okay? Because baby, you looked in rough shape, and I just want to make sure you're doing okay." uh,
Oh god.
I mean, really nice, truly, but definitely one of those times where I think I had said I never want to assume like I'm getting hit on, but that was in the case of men, and
I
in
think you
this
were
case, I
getting
was
hit
like,
on.
I don't know.
No one leaves a number because they like their hair.
Maybe
Okay.
she wanted to know who my stylist was.
Maybe. But she could have just asked you that.
True. But it was just weird how she gave it to me and she's like, I just really like your hair. Like, you want to date my hair?
Maybe she's just really socially awkward and couldn't think of like a, you know,
Possibly. I don't know.
child line. All I can
Well,
think of is
hey,
her hair.
if she was, super flattered. In fact, that makes me feel better than maybe getting hit on by dudes. But um, that happened, and then there was, I watched a really drunk girl demand the bartender's number, and like he begrudgingly gave her a pen and paper. She couldn't get the pen to work. He handed her his phone. She eventually got
Oh
kicked out.
god.
And I was like, look at that love connection. He's like, yeah, no. And then as the night wound down, another guy sidled up to us and started, he's like, you guys are at a club and none of you are dancing. What's going on here? Blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, you can enjoy music without having to dance, kiddo, because he was a baby.
Kiddo.
Yeah. And I made a comment about, I can't remember if he said something first. He's like, I got to go do homework tomorrow or something. And I was like, oh, yeah, school's important. And I think I said something about like, I'm too old to be dancing or something. And he's like, how old are you? 25? And I was like, thank you. Thank you
Correct
so
answer.
much.
Thank
No,
you.
no, I'm not. And I told him how old I was. And he looked like, I don't know. I told him that I was the president's daughter. I don't, I like, he couldn't fathom someone as old as me, is what it seemed like.
Yeah, but
He
Kate,
just
like, I know you won't believe this coming from me, a friend of yours, but you do not look your age at all.
But also, I'm not that old. Is my point.
Oh, yeah. How old was he?
22.
Well, when you're 22, how old are you? 36?
35.
35 sounds
Yes.
ancient.
I recall specifically thinking that people who were 30 were effectively grandparents when I was, I get it. And now
Exactly.
being 30, 31, 32, 30, I get it. But I just like his reaction was kind of expected, but also like, excuse me, sir. And so I patted him on his shoulder and said, thank you for making me feel good. And, was getting up to leave and put on my little blazer. And he's like,
Gave
that
him a
blazer
few
is
dollars
super,
for some candy.
here you go, little young man, stay in school, kids. Yeah.
Well, it
Oh,
sounds like
boy.
you had a great night.
Yep. We did karaoke on Sunday. I ran the board because I didn't know how it worked there. And the DJ's like, Kate, you've got like 20 more songs on here, but we're closing. So, but it was a very small venue. And I had this guy, I guess he also thought I was 22 or 25. I don't know. But he came up and he's like, we're both doing Disney songs. And I'm like, and what? Do you think we're going to get married now or what's happening, sir? So all this is to say is this trip was in some ways like validating, I guess, but also reminded me at how social interactions and meeting people out in public is just probably as bad as meeting people online. And I wasn't even trying to do that.
Oh, you got quite a lot of action from the sounds of it.
I mean,
I mean,
so
I
many
feel like you
phone
should
numbers.
move to Maine because everyone thinks you're 25. You get hit
Do you
on
want to
by
come?
women,
Do you want
children,
to come?
and yeah.
All
Oh,
right.
wow. That sounds great.
So that was it. It was fine. I got food poisoning in the end, so that sucked, and now I'm home.
Cool.
How's your
Well, I'm
week?
glad you're um pretty well, a little bit eventful. I've had terrible toothache all week.
Mm.
And I'm now on antibiotics to fix the issue, and it's ruined my plans for the coronation long weekend that we're having here in England. We get another bank holiday, another little public holiday, thanks to old King Charles, as he
Is
soon
it on
will be.
Monday?
Yes.
Lucky.
So we get Saturday, Sunday, Monday off this week, and we only had one last weekend as well.
Mm.
So yeah, I can't drink now.
And that's because of the particular antibiotic.
Yeah, it's a
Do you also
strong
know it
one.
makes your birth control less effective?
Yeah, the dentist did tell me that as well.
You
I
got
was like,
all of the
noted.
details.
Noted, writing that one down.
I'm sorry that sucks, but you're feeling better at least.
I'm feeling much better. Yeah, I was in quite a bad way.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, okay
Mouth
now.
shit sucks.
It really does. I genuinely wouldn't wish it on anyone. It's like, and it wasn't a normal toothache. It was my whole mouth.
Ugh.
So like just everywhere. I couldn't sleep because if I laid down, it got worse. I was taking like 3 different painkillers. One of them a very strong addictive painkiller. That didn't even touch it. It was terrible.
Jesus. Yeah.
But good news is it's cleared up now. I'm not in pain and I'm not addicted to that particular painkiller because I was careful.
Good, because it'd be hard to make a podcast if you were just constantly like doped up.
Just on codeine.
Actually, maybe not. Actually, maybe it'd be really good.
Maybe it would
We'll
be
table
better.
that. We'll table
Yeah.
that for now.
Okay, yeah, we'll park that for a minute, but that's a good idea.
One day we're gonna try this while drinking and see what happens.
Yeah. It was
That'll
going to
be
be
one of
tonight,
those.
but
Yeah, it'll be one of those maybe lost episodes that never gets published.
we'll think it'll be amazing And then in the
Mhm.
edit, I'll be like, okay,
Mhm. No,
we cannot
we
publish
can't.
this.
None of our friends are gonna talk to us anymore. Funny you mention the coronation weekend because I thought. Oh wait, no, that's not right. God save the queen. Is that right? That
That's
might
it,
be a
yep.
fun thing to talk about. I was trying to do God
Yes.
Save the Queen, okay?
I don't think you did. I think you did that's a hymn, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know.
God save the queen, a newborn king. Da, 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 da.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that.
the proper one is God save our gracious king. Da, 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 da.
Did you know that that is actually to the same tune as like a patriotic song here?
You probably stole it from us.
Well, obviously. What
Duh.
happened? We came over and it's like we can't make a whole new song. So let's just take the
There's
melody.
only so many notes you can use.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of which one it is. Do the melody again.
Da, 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 da,
Of the
da, da,
sweet land of
da, da, da,
liberty.
da. Oh yeah, I know
Of
that one.
yeah, that one.
Of
It's like the same.
America.
Yeah,
I'm
it's the
making
same
it up. Yeah.
song. Who's
Same here.
suing who here?
Well, yeah, okay. Well,
But
let's get
anyway,
stuck into the royal family.
we can
Um,
probably cut that part. Anyway,
it might be a nice little,
yeah,
you
maybe.
know, sing
Not
along for
drunk
everyone.
if we don't cut it, just so everyone knows. But I
Um,
just think it would be good to talk about that because it's not something you and I have really gone into a lot of depth over. And
mhm.
I know there are people in America who really love the royal family. Like we're getting up in the middle of the night and watching the weddings, following, all the drama, probably felt some type of way about the queen. And I never really have. And I know that there's maybe some mixed opinions even over there, right?
Yep. You don't like our queen? What's wrong
No.
with Lizzie? You slagging off Lizzie?
Shit. It's not that.
Shit! Oh god! You
No,
look
that's not
so
what I meant, I
panicked.
swear. Utmost respect for the recently departed queen. Actually, no, I feel kind of strongly about like the, history of imperialism and kind of conquering and pillaging people. And you know what? It's not about that. I'm sorry. It's not something that has ever been a major interest of mine anyway.
Mhm. Yeah, I
So,
mean, there are very mixed opinions here as well. You have people that are royalists and absolutely love the royal family and think it's, a staple of British culture and British history. And there are other people who think it's pointless, a waste of money, and they're a waste of space and don't get the hype.
where do
Um,
you fall?
more into the latter, but I do also understand that they do bring a lot of tourism to England. And look, it's tricky. Like, I don't agree with us essentially paying for everything they do because everything they do is through taxpayers' money.
Mhm.
It's like this coronation, for example, of
How
King
much?
Charles. It's estimated that it's going to cost 100 million. And bearing in mind, we're going through a cost of living crisis in England at the moment. So people and families can't afford to eat. And our tax has gone towards this huge, ridiculous ceremony where we're crowning our next king. Like, it's ridiculous.
And
So,
he's already been king for a while, right?
I know. Just put the fucking crown on him and get on with it. Ridiculous.
I honestly thought it already happened. And I just didn't I missed it. So, when I saw it was I was like, "Oh shit, they still haven't done that? So does everything, like, not count that he's been doing?"
Exactly. Also, like, the Archbishop of Canterbury, who's like our kind of head of church in
Mhm.
England, who will be, I guess, like overseeing the coronation. I'm not really sure how it works, to be honest.
Like, putting the crown on him.
Yeah, and doing all the, your. Well, I think actually the monarch is the head of the church, actually. So
So the
yeah, the
king
Queen was
himself?
like the head of, they're the head of the church, and then like the Archbishop is like under them. I'm not really sure, to be honest.
The
Don't really care.
vice president of the church?
Yeah, vice god
Yeah.
spokesman.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so usually what happens during a coronation is the lords, and again, don't really know who they are, but they pledge allegiance to the new monarch, so the king or queen that's being coronated.
Okay.
This time, they're not doing that, and they have asked for the British public to pledge allegiance to the new king, which really kind of got my back up because I was like, fuck off, mate. Like,
They've
why?
never done that before?
Never done that before.
Why?
I don't know. Like, I think the reason behind it is they're trying to like involve the public and make us feel like, I guess, we're part of the coronation and part of the monarchy family. But all it's done for me is just feel like you're forcing me to like kiss your feet and love you.
Yeah.
It's just weird, don't you think?
The fact that that's how they chose to make it seem like a more we're the cool king. We like to hang out with our constituents, like, I'd rather have you do it
Yeah.
in the castle type of thing. That's how they chose to do it is seems really misinformed. Because
Mm.
I agree with you, it seems like, "Oh, we actually don't need the lords to do it, we want the public to do it," and kind of basically lionize him and, like, kind of we want the public to basically say they're gonna worship him.
Yeah. And I think it's odd as well because, I mean, even a lot of people that don't like the monarchy still liked and had respect
Mhm.
for Queen Elizabeth because she was our queen for
Old.
so long. She
Just old.
never, yeah, she was old and she didn't, do anything in our lifetime anyway that was sort of frowned upon. And
Hung out with Paddington Bear that one time.
yeah, skydived and, the opening ceremony of the Olympics.
Maybe
So
it was, like,
people
the least
liked
racist
her.
one to Megan.
Yeah, but people, because of what happened with Diana,
Mhm.
there's not a
I
lot
was
of
hoping
love
you would bring her up.
for Charles.
Yeah.
He's not very liked, especially following how they perceived him in The Crown.
Oh, yeah, okay.
um, but no, yeah, I don't personally know of anyone that gives a fuck about Charles. I would have personally preferred William to have been crowned instead. Actually, my top preference would be Harry, but
Mm.
that would never
Yeah, Team
happen.
Harry. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, all the way.
There there's is there any circumstance where Charles could have been like, "No, I won't," and
He could have
then
abdicated, yeah,
okay.
but he wouldn't because
He's been waiting for this day since he was, I don't know,
exactly.
before he was born, I guess,
Mm.
but
But we might not have long to wait. I don't know how old he is. I think he's like 74 or something. So
yeah, well, his mom did live pretty old age.
that's it. They do have the best healthcare in the
They had the
world.
best healthcare, worst bloodline and genes.
Yeah, I mean, Prince Philip looked like he was already dead for about 10 years, but they kept him going. I don't know what they were pumping him full of, but fucking hell.
They were just Weekend at Bernieing him.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah, he's
okay,
74.
I have questions, and I'm trying to figure out where to start.
Go for it.
I think I'm gonna start with the basic of w explain to me, like, in 5, what the royal family does for the country or the king or the queen. Like, what role do they play in governance?
Um, so essentially, not a lot. So they obviously used to rule
Mhm.
until we had a government and democracy, if you can call it that. However, it is called the Queen's government, or I guess now it's the King's government. It's really weird saying king as well. I really don't like
I
it.
bet.
Um, so every time like a new prime minister gets voted in, the monarch, I'm going to say, because I don't like saying king, has to sort of like sign them in. And I think the monarch can overrule on government decisions,
Okay. I had always wondered that, to be honest.
but it would never happen because they have to be seen like they're working together.
The
So, like for
optics of it is bad, yeah.
yeah, so a lot of people wondered if it would happen with Brexit because it was such a close vote, and so many people were unhappy with the result that we were going to leave the EU.
Mhm.
That there were calls for the Queen at the time to overrule the
To
decision.
basically veto it.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it didn't happen.
Hmm.
But I mean, what they do day to day is they're like patrons of a lot of charities. They open loads of new hospitals and gardens and I don't know stuff like that. Visit a load of countries. There's obviously the Commonwealth,
Mhm.
which is essentially loads of countries that we colonized years and years ago, and then the the royal family created the Commonwealth to make it seem like have your countries back and we'll all be friends. So that was their way of fixing that little problem.
And how? Boy, did they. Those
Boy, did
countries
they
are
make
super
that
happy.
better.
Yeah.
And also, they do the Commonwealth Games. So every year it's essentially sort of like the Olympics for just the Commonwealth countries, and where they all have a little run and long jump, and some people win some medals, and everyone feels better about the whole situation.
Australia?
Yeah, Australia.
Some of Canada? All of Canada?
Oh, I don't know if Canada is actually. Hold on,
I mean, they
I'll
have
Google
fucking
it.
Queen Elizabeth on some of their money.
True. So we've got obviously the United Kingdom,
Mhm.
Australia, South
Mhm.
Africa,
Mhm.
Gambia, Botswana, Canada, Ghana, Barbados, Fiji, Nigeria.
Oh,
Although I believe that Barbados have got independence from that now. Fiji, Nigeria, India, Malawi, Mauritius, Dominica, Cameroon, Namibia, Bangladesh, Zambia, Cyprus. May say this wrong. Guyana.
no, I think you said that right.
Good.
Wait, Ghana?
No, it's
Guyana.
Guyana.
Yeah, I think it's Guyana.
Rwanda, Brunei, Kenya, Seychelles, Tanzania, Uganda, Jamaica, Belize, Grenada, the Bahamas, Malta.
That is so many.
Yeah, there's 65. There's more if you want me to keep reading them.
I I see 56, just so you know.
Oh, there's 56.
But close enough. Yeah, keep reading because I just wanted. I thought it was like 4.
Where did I get to? Malta, Lesotho. Never heard of that.
So many I haven't heard of.
Eswatini. I may get cancelled for these. I do apologise if I'm pronouncing these wrong to anyone listening. Singapore, Vanuatu, Tuvalu, Mozambique, New Zealand, Kiribati, Togo, Sierra Leone, Nauru, Maldives, Pakistan, Samoa, Trinidad and Tobago, Antigua and Barbuda, Sri Lanka, Tonga, Malaysia, and Gabon. Gabon. Gabon.
There's so
Gabon.
many I haven't heard of that I couldn't even tell you if you were getting it right or not. So, which I think speaks to
Your
the
ignorance.
the success of our public school education.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's the royal family in a nutshell.
Okay. So, next question is while there still seems to be kind of this love and reverence for the royal family, I feel like with Diana, it was a little different.
Yes.
So,
So obviously she was not part of the royal family but married into it. And people loved her because she obviously was a very good looking woman. But she kind of broke the steely faced, non emotional persona that the royal family had always given.
mhm.
She was very personable and very much into sort of charity work. So the public loved her.
The people's princess, right? That's what they
Yeah.
called her.
So they
Yeah.
called her the People's Princess.
Hmm. That's what they're
Um,
trying to do with Charles. They're just doing it really wrong.
yeah. Look, Charles, you can't decide if
We
you're
don't love you. Sorry, it's
don't
not
love
going to
you.
happen. You can't sit with us. Okay.
And so yeah, so she was just really popular with the public and the media. Um, but there was also there's similarities I think between kind of her and Meghan. At first, she was loved, and then when like the divorce happened and the
Hmm.
marriage became a bit rocky, the media turned on her.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, it's weird. There's a weird relationship between the press here and the royal family. Like, I think I watched a bit of that Harry and Meghan documentary on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
And to be honest, I wasn't interested at all. I couldn't give a shit what they do with their lives, to be honest.
Yeah.
Put it on because I was bored and actually got quite into it. It was quite interesting. Um,
Do you
and yeah,
think they're
so they were
telling the
saying that.
truth about that?
Yeah, I do. To be honest, I think I'm quite good at reading people and picking up on deceptive behaviours, and I didn't get any of that. I think that in some parts, Megan came off as a little sort of poor me and attention seeky, but um, then again, she has been through an awful lot
Well,
with
perhaps
being
it was
involved with that
justified.
family.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, and I think that, like you just said, there's kind of this steely faced persona they put on that you don't expect, I think, them to be any other way. So the fact
Mm.
that she's maybe emotive, shares
Yeah.
her feelings, it could seem like that because of that juxtaposition.
Mm.
I don't know anything about it. I know the barest minimum about it. I didn't watch any of that stuff. I just like basically kind of what I saw in passing. But from my perspective, it's hard for me to see what benefit they would have to basically remove themselves from that, knowing the protection, the benefits probably from sticking it out over there and
Mm.
dealing with it and being a part of it is there probably are a lot of benefits. So to me, it's kind of like I don't think people would do that if it weren't for really good reasons that are actually true.
No, that's it. Um, their main reason as well was because, Harry could see the same thing happening to them and to Meghan that happened to Diana, and ultimately she was hounded so much by the press that it ended in her death. And like, if you do watch the Netflix series, you'll see like some of the headlines they were writing about her was
Mm.
absolutely unbelievable. Um, and that's going to hurt anyone, regardless of whether you're already an actress and already in the public eye.
Yeah.
Um, and it's like another level. Like, I don't know if you've seen much about the differences between how our press and your press works, but like, there's kind of no boundaries here. They just hound people, and it's constant, and it's yeah, there's no let up. There doesn't seem to be any rules around what they can do and when they can take photographs,
So
and
what
some
you're
people will argue
describing,
that that's got to be accepted if you're going to be in the public eye.
yeah.
But people are real people as well, so give them a fucking break, man.
Well, I think what you're describing is kind of how the paparazzi are here, which are
Hmm.
part of the media, but there's kind of like news media and then more like pop culture media, you
Hmm.
know? And I think there's a lot of intersection and sometimes lines blurred so much you don't really know. I have a lot of problems with like our media for different reasons, but
Mm.
like are you saying that kind of like whether it's The Sun, I think that's one, right? That's like a big kind of tabloidy one versus BBC, they're all the same.
Mm. I mean, they're essentially, yeah, media's media, really, isn't it? They're all trying to get the best story
Yeah.
and sell the most papers.
Yeah. And do whatever it takes.
But some are more ruthless than others and considered uh, bottom of the barrel, like the Sun is
Mm-hmm.
proper bottom of the barrel. Um, and then like things like the Guardian and the Telegraph are more sort of respected
Mm-hmm.
newspapers and media outlets. Um, but they'll do terrible things like uh, there was, for example, this is a suicide trigger warning, by the way. There was a presenter here called Caroline Flack. She presented our show Love Island.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And she was going through some personal stuff in her personal life where she appeared to have some sort of violent relationship with her boyfriend. Nobody really knew what had happened, but she was pictured like with blood on her and stuff after a fight with him. But then a story came out that it was her that hit him on the head with a lamp while they were having an argument. So the Sun then went crazy, was printing stories daily about her being like a man beater and, just printing terrible shit. She had like an upcoming court case about it. She was like let go from presenting
Mm.
Love Island while that was all going on. And ultimately, she took her own life
Oh.
because of everything that was happening. Um, and then the Sun, who was printing all these stories, and really the one that was, pouring fucking petrol on the fire to keep it going,
Mm-hmm.
changed their tack, 360. And we're like, this is terrible. We all have to be kind together. Like we have, kindness is the
God.
way. It's like, mate, you did this. Like, what are you doing? So I think that there needs to be some accountability in the UK, especially for what they're printing and how they can ruin people's lives, basically.
My guess is they didn't say we acknowledge that we likely had a heavy contribution to
Nope.
this.
I think they also deleted all their like previous
Oh,
articles about it as
internet's
well. Just
forever
like
though,
it.
baby.
Yeah. We got screenshots, motherfucker.
Oh god, that's I heard about that. I didn't know all of that, and that's so sad and horrible and just like so hypocritical too. If that's
Mm,
like they can't, to be like, oh, this is horrible. We should all really be kind to each other. When we could probably pull up since that all the times that they weren't kind to anybody.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that we have similar issues in our media, but it's more about like misinformation, slanted
Yeah. You seem to have quite a
stories.
big problem with that, don't you?
Yeah, like I watched BBC during some of the election stuff because I was just like, I just kind of want to see maybe something that could be a little more objective,
Hmm.
please. And yeah, we've got our own stuff, but we also, I think part of like our equivalent to the royal family, I guess, is our like the president, I suppose.
Yeah.
And they're part of the typical current event news, politics issues. So like they're often put in the media, but we don't revere them and like hold them kind of in the same way that
No.
y'all do with the royal family.
And it's mad how crazy people go with it. Like, for example, there's been people camping outside Buckingham Palace for 10 days to get a good spot outside the gates so that they can see King Charles wave on the balcony after he's been coronated. Like,
For like a minute.
yeah, what the
Whoa.
fuck?
Yeah.
I even saw a video earlier of people that had come over from America
That's what I
to
mean.
watch
People
it.
here get really big
I'm
into
like,
them too. Like girls I knew in law school were like, we're going to get up at 2 a.m. and watch Kate and William's wedding. And I was like, who? I'm going to
see,
sleep.
that is a funny point though, because I again didn't give a shit about the weddings, but I did watch both of them, and I got really into
Well,
both of them as well.
yeah.
Like,
It's hard not to,
I
I
know,
suppose.
kind of
With
sucks you
like,
in.
I mean, I was, you were even younger, but I remember when Diana died, I was
Hmm.
like, this memory will stick with me forever. I think mostly because I was like horribly sick.
Oh,
I was,
really?
I don't know, I think I was 7, uh, and horribly sick, like the kind of sick where you're just like in bed for days. You have your little bucket,
Yeah.
like fever, all of that. Mom take care of me, and I was sleeping probably finally, and my mom woke me up to go, Princess Diana died, and I was like, who?
No.
Well, I was like, who? Why did you wake me up? I've been so sick. But like, I think people then really, people over here, I think really kind of enjoyed her too. But
Mm,
again, I was too young to maybe care about that. But then, we had the Elton John, the Beanie Baby. Like
yeah.
she was a legacy. So,
She was, yeah.
but
Yeah, I remember when she died as well, because I remember waking up really early, as you do when you're young, to go downstairs to watch cartoons in the morning before mum and dad got up.
mhm.
And there was nothing on telly apart from the news that Diana had died. So
And you're
me
like,
and my
this
brother ran
bullshit.
upstairs and were like, Mum, Dad, Diana's dead.
Oh, you cared. Got it.
Didn't really know who
Mom,
she
Dad, the
was, I don't
cartoons are
think.
broken.
Yeah. There's no cartoons on because Diana's dead. And mum and dad were like, what? No, she's not. And I was like, no, she is. Turn the telly on.
I love little Gemma voice.
Uh,
Did they take it hard?
they didn't really care, to be honest. I mean, they
Mm,
did because it was a shock
yeah, yeah,
because she, died very suddenly in a horrific car crash.
yeah.
But yeah, my parents aren't. They're not into the royal family. So
So it
yeah,
wasn't something that was kind of part of your life growing up to make you care about it, which I suspect
no,
is probably why we see people who really do care about it because it, it was a value, I guess is the word I'm looking for. And
yeah,
it is kind of gross though, this whole coronation and the money
yeah, man.
spent. I mean, appreciate the day off, bro, I guess.
Yeah, that's it, I appreciate the day off. But also what annoys me is that he's, like, super or says he's super into, like, environmental issues and helping, climate change and helping all these charities, and it's like, you could have just said and what would have actually brought you a lot more public, um, what's the word?
Just like approval.
Yeah, public approval would be to say, "Actually, I'm not gonna have a big coronation. We'll have a quick, small ceremony where the archbishop will pop the crown on, blah, 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 and I'll donate the money that would have been spent to it to, social issues or helping families that can't feed their children currently or are about to
Hmm.
be
Put it
homeless
back into
because
the
they can't pay their
economy. Yeah.
mortgage." Yeah.
No, I think that actually would have been really smart of him to do. Um, Particularly since they're all about changing up the history and tradition with the lords and stuff. Like,
Mm.
no one, you don't have to have a ceremony, bro. Like,
Yeah, do what you
everyone knows
want.
you're king. No
You're the
one's gonna
king.
fight you about it.
Do what you
Like,
want.
yeah. Who cares if the archbishop, vice president puts the crown on you or not, and people see it? No one cares. And like, that's the kind of stuff that you would hope people would do, but probably he's not of that generation. Like, maybe you could get that from
Mm.
Harry. I don't know,
That's what I was gonna say. Harry would do it.
but then you're gonna get all the people who are like, but
No, it's tradition. I think
yeah.
you'll find that we need a coronation ceremony or it's not official. Okay.
Oh, I love. Okay, two good ones in like a matter of a few minutes. Beautiful, baby Gemma
Sorry.
and old posh royalist. Dame maybe Maggie Smith or Judy Dench, one of the two.
I bet they don't like the royal family, even though they have been damed.
Yeah, they don't get to meet him. Well, I found that really interesting, and just because, like I said, I didn't realize it was tomorrow, and it is, and I never really asked you much. I kind of had a feeling that maybe you weren't like, "Yay, queen! Yay, king!"
Yeah,
uh,
queen.
Camp outside the palace type of person. But I guess I didn't. I never wanted to ask because I don't want to offend anybody. Like, do you like the king and the queen? Really?
Do you really like them?
Ew.
No, it's weird. It's just something you kind of just grow up with
Yeah.
in this country. It's just sort of like, I guess, a norm. And is it weird looking at it from the perspective of a country that doesn't have a royal family? Is it an odd concept that we do have it?
I think I didn't think so initially until I started having maybe a little bit more critical thought about like what do they do?
Hmm.
Like she actually like she's not a president. She doesn't or he doesn't do the things our president does. Like they're just kind of figureheads, and then I was kind of like then what's
What's
the
the
point
point?
then? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think as like I imagine that's probably very expensive to fund them and all of that. But I suppose that's what tourism also does is helps with that.
Mm.
Because people I think there's like a fairy tale to it a little bit
Yeah, I think
that I
that's what
think
it
people
is as
like.
well, isn't
Yeah.
it? It creates this image of England being this, fairy tale country with a king or queen ruling and Buckingham Palace and Frogmore Cottage and all that. And
Cockshut Road.
Titty ho.
Yeah, I mean, you guys all sit around and talk about your awesome royal family and have awesome shooters and talk about how awesome and whimsical England is.
Yeah, that's all we talk about here, actually.
I just, you got to change all that money. You got to change your words. You can't say queen anymore. You got to say king. That's all really
Mm,
hard, and I don't like it.
I don't like it either. I don't like
Boycott.
singing God Save Our King. It doesn't roll off the tongue like the other
Mm-mm,
song did. I
mm-mm.
don't like the fact that actually I saw a coin with Charles on it the other day, and they have really exaggerated his jowls,
Good,
which I really enjoyed.
good.
I
You
was
don't
like,
get to
"Oh,
look
he
good
looks
on your coin.
terrible."
Send me some pictures and like when the bills
I
come out
will.
and stuff. I want to see that. I just actually, when I
Yeah,
was
that'd
in
be
Maine,
weird.
saw the Canadian loon with the queen on it and stuff,
Mm.
and it's pretty
Yeah, so I
similar,
wonder
but
if they'll all change their money as well. I
I
guess they'll
assume
have
so.
to.
Yeah, I assume so.
God. Well, it's all changing it.
Yep. Good talk.
Good chat, yeah.
That's gonna be our new intro music. Love it.
That's the new break music. Shabba-dee-bee-ba, hey, huh.
Scooby Doo Bop. Okay, dating corner.
Dating corner. Have you got any questions for us?
Gemma. You know how we have
Yes.
that email?
Yeah.
talkshittous@gmail.com. That
Yeah, I
is
think I've heard of it.
talkshittous@gmail.com.
Oh, it's got a
We've got a
lovely ring.
letter.
Oh
We
my
just got a
god!
letter.
We've
We
got a
just
fan. We've got a fan.
Yep. One fan, and it's not my mom. Someone wants some advice from us. Are you up for it?
Yeah. Don't know if I'm qualified to give advice, but I'm up for it.
Well, you know, maybe we need to go back to doing disclaimers that we don't know what we're talking about. We're
Mhm.
not experts in anything. We
Mhm.
probably get stuff wrong because memory is infallible and it's reconstructive. So we might forget
Yeah.
that Keith was on that tube at some
Exactly.
point.
Yeah.
But
I know.
we offered for people to write to us if they want to hear from us. So when
Yeah.
they're seeking it with that disclaimer, let's give it, right?
We can only but try to help.
Do or do not, there is no try.
Yes.
I don't, sorry, scratch that. Okay, moving on. um, all right. Hi, friends.
Hi.
I'm a gay man needing some dating advice from the experts, both near and far. Okay, we just said we are not experts, but thank you for saying that. My boyfriend and I met in a mid sized Midwestern city and spent the beginning of the relationship in close proximity, spending all of our free time together. He's since moved to New York after 8 months for personal growth and development.
Aw.
Good for you, man. Which I fully support, knowing he's never experienced life outside of my metro area. It's been 8 months apart with visits every 2 to 3 months, and that's been sufficient for me to stay monogamous. He's confessed his need to lean into sexual desires, lots of sexy people in NYC, and now wants to shift into a committed, non monogamous, or open relationship. My logical and very queer centric brain believes this is possible by standards outside of society's portrayal of normal, quotes, heterosexual relationship standards. My emotional and trauma filled brain is fueling anxiety and stress about the thought of sharing my partner with other people intimately. So far, nothing has occurred aside from chatting on the internet with some of my followers, OOMFS, which I had to look up. Um, and I got the attention of a young cutie at my volleyball league who asked for my Snapchat a few weeks ago. My boy is an incredible communicator and shows me in so many ways that he's in it for the long haul. He's been extremely supportive of me turning a leaf and opening up to someone local as an, quote, incubator or someone to have fun with in the interim as well. I would be lying if I said it wouldn't be nice to someone to hold, periodically. If you were me, what would you do to get over the stress of sharing a partner in a long distance, committed, non monotonous relationship? Please help and keep the podcast coming. Sincerely, your biggest fan,
Mm.
Anonymous, who says he loves us bigger.
Great.
So I do just want
Wow.
to point out, like, way to go on being able to recognize kind of where your more rational and where your irrationalities
Mhm.
are. It's clear you've done some work there, and I think that's really important and good to acknowledge. And I hope you shared that with your partner too. But I'm going to throw it to Gemma now.
Okay. So I think it's a great thing to try. It's great that obviously your partner has decided to expand their horizons and move away from, was it a small town?
Mid-sized Midwestern city.
Okay, so a mid-sized city. Um, and it's a lot of people are trying non-monogamy and open relationships, or polyamory, as it's
Mhm.
also known.
Thruppledom.
Thruppledom, yeah. Um, and I think as long as there's open communication and you set your boundaries, and you're both on the same page and in agreement about it, then fill your boots.
So, to the question of what would you do to get over stress? So, putting yourself in our listeners' shoes. And I realize it might be like, I'm not sure this would be something I could do. Maybe set that aside. But, like, how would
Hmm.
you, for yourself, like, try to navigate that?
Well, as I said before, I think boundaries are really important. Um, so it might be the case that you don't want to know about their other partners or the other people they're seeing, or it
Mhm.
might be the case that in order to relieve some of that anxiety, you need to know everything. Um, you guys together need to work out, I think, how this is going to work for you and how it's going to look for you. Um, and I think you also need to accept that there will be jealousy.
Mhm.
I don't think that's something we can get rid of, um, especially if you care about a person. And it seems like you do really care about this guy, and you really care about each other. So I think accepting that jealousy is going to be a part of it, it's a natural human emotion. Um, but it's having that open communication, setting the boundaries, um, and talking regularly about it, I think, as well, rather than just kind of going with it because you think the other person wants to do it.
Mhm.
If it's no longer working for you, then communicate that. Or
Mhm.
if there's certain things you have an issue with, again, communicate that and talk through it and see where the other person's at. Um, that's my hot take.
I think what you said about jealousy is really important because that's, uh, I think, a really kind of innate human reaction to
Mm,
things that we have as early as, being young kids, with friends, with relatives, with parents. And I think if I were in your shoes, I would ask my partner, like, if I'm feeling this way, do you want to know about it? Am I
mm,
allowed to tell you about it? Is that going to cause issues? Are you allowed, like, do you want to tell me about your jealousy? Like, how do we want to handle this when we're feeling this way? And like you said, Gemma, like, what are the parameters and boundaries that you both need to ensure that your needs are continuing to get met? Because this
mm,
is what it's about, right? There's like this kind of one need that you guys can't meet on a regular basis. And so there's kind of this discussion about, like, how do we do that while maintaining our other needs with each other in this relationship? And so where are the, like, no goes, like the
mm.
the lines that can't be crossed, and the expectations there, and you got to be on the same page. And whether you just kind of, I don't think it's bad to just reemphasize, like, communication is key, but how, when, how often,
Mm.
check-ins, like, is it once a week? Is it, anytime you're feeling some type of way? Like, get on the same page with all of those things to the point where it feels a little annoying, even not in like a
Yeah.
bad way, but just like, okay, we gotta check it, like, I'm feeling this way. Because I think when you start to stuff, it builds, resentment builds, secrets, and like feel like, and then you boil over, you explode, and that's when everything comes out and you throw everything at them, and it's like this thing 6 months
Yeah.
ago, yesterday, right now, and it's not really fair. It's not
Mm.
fair. Um,
Also, it seems like from what you've said that, um, this isn't a permanent solution.
mm, yeah.
Um, so it doesn't need to be seen as, this is a long term decision that you're making, and that it sounds like eventually you may once again live in the same city again.
Mm-hmm.
and it won't need to be that way. But then again, if you enjoy it and it works for both of you, then it might be something you want to continue. But
That's a good point. Like, I wonder if there's conversations about like how long is this arrangement? Not necessarily
mm,
just like the non-monogamy, but like the separation. So like indefinite could probably make it feel more stressful if that conversation hasn't happened, and maybe
yeah,
it can't yet. It's too soon. But like if there's at least kind of an idea, yes, like the plan is this. We don't know when yet, but that's kind of what we're working towards. Um, and also like I think it would be really important too when there are visits. Like there's like no other people,
mm,
right? Like the focus is on the two of you.
yeah,
Then I just think, and that might seem obvious, but I think that that would be really important for me if I were in this situation. That's like when you're here
yeah.
and I'm there, like
That's
those
it. I think
people.
I'd still need to feel like the priority,
Yeah. Yeah.
regardless of whether there was an open situation. You two are number one,
Mm-hmm.
and then everyone else is kind of fulfilling
Yeah.
other needs. But
Yep.
yeah,
Agreed. Nice job.
and
I hope
you,
that was helpful.
God, we should be like relationship therapists, or
I mean, maybe we are now.
maybe we are. Yeah,
Today.
I'm getting some
Uh,
business cards made up right
Me
now.
too. Me too. I hopefully that was helpful, dear listener. And if you have additional questions, needs for clarification, want to follow up, you know what to do, and we will be happy
Mm,
to talk about it. And anyone else having heard our brilliant advice now, hit us up.
yeah. Talk shit to us at gmail.com. Ba-da-ba-da-dip-ba-ha-ha-ba.
Hey.
To finish things off, I thought we'd visit the Am I the Arsehole segment of the pod.
Yes.
I've got one for you.
Can't wait.
So I'm going to read it out loud, and then you're going to tell me whether you think they're an asshole or not. Okay?
Oh, that sounds brilliant, mate. I'm super chuffed to be doing this with you.
Fantastic. Okay. So the title is, Would I be the arsehole for spraying some kid with my garden hose daily after he walks all over our lawn?
Grandpa, is that you?
Okay.
Okay.
I live with my...
Blah, 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 blah.
It's a bad
Hyaluronic.
hyaluronic. Okay.
Okay.
I live with... Oh, fucking hell. Right. I live with my wife and son and daughter, 9 and 11 respectively. Recently, there's been this kid who comes by our house after playing soccer and either rides his bike or walks over the lawn with his cleats on his way home. Don't know what cleats are.
There's soccer boots,
Ah,
basically.
okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Football
Um,
boots.
So it started out as me giving him stern looks whenever I saw him, and then slowly progressed to me asking him to just go around. The last time I asked him to stop, he made a point to stomp extra hard and twist his feet into the grass to piss me off. Since then, I've just been hosing him. The first time I sprayed him with the hose, he ran off. But then for some reason, he just started standing there while I hose him, like he enjoys it. It's it's now progressed to me sitting on my lawn chair, pointing my hose at him, and him just staring at me while he does so. Sometimes we even make small talk. Hi. I'm not going to lie, it started off as a really bitter relationship, but I've actually gotten to know the kid quite well. We talk for maybe 15 to 20 minutes every day, and he doesn't seem to mind being hosed down after sweating hard playing soccer. He comes by daily, and we just shoot the shit while I hose him, and he stands there for a bit. My wife told me I need to stop, even after I explained to her.
He likes
Um,
it.
yeah. She said, I'm making us look like childish idiots. I guess I could stop, but honestly, it's really funny waiting for him to come by, and I see no harm in it. Would I be the arsehole?
I went through such a range of emotions listening to that I'm just gonna process it as it happened. Okay.
Okay.
Initially was kind of like, "Oh, fuck that kid."
Yeah.
It's
You are
like, you ask
not
him
the
to stop.
arsehole.
Yeah, stop it's not like, and then I had to pull back and be like, "It's a child, grown man." Like, okay. But also was like, like spraying with a hose, like I've heard worse things, but I suppose there could be an argument that that's kind of assaultive. Anyway, but clearly this kid is abstinent, does not really respect other people's property or requests for boundaries and stuff like that. And that if my kind of professional brain is thinking like, what's up with this kid?
Hmm.
But when I heard that, like asked him to stop, he'd glare, grounding his cleats in. I was like, oh, that little shit's gonna get it. So,
Oh, he's going to get hosed.
oh, he's gonna get hosed. And then like the fact that the kid come back and came back and just stood there, I was kind of like, okay, yeah, we've got one of those kids who really consequences be damned. Whatever, I'm gonna just do it. Like, fine, like kind of against my better interests or whatever. But the fact that this now turned into like this kind of a routine of ours, we're kind of pals now. I'm starting to get to know him very well. Like, it
Mm.
was kind of sweet, but I'm also just like, okay, at this point, sir, have you tried to, dude? We've run the gamut here. We've done this for a while. It's kind of funny. I'm happy to continue to spray you down, but just like, what's the deal? Why? Like, why are you like? I mean, if you're becoming buddies with him, why don't you talk to him about it? I'm not sure. I want to say he's the asshole at this point. How it ended, it seems like this is kind of a mutual thing, routine that he's like kind of. But I also just want to point out this person like is the grown up in this scenario. I think. I guess I didn't catch if he has an idea about how old this kid is. I gathered pretty young.
Yeah, it doesn't
Um,
say.
but if he's like an 18-year-old, then no. But if we're talking like a 14, 15-year-old and this guy is, in his 20s, 30s, 40s, um, you're the adult. And so like maybe you need to talk to his parents. Maybe you need to put up a fence. Maybe something, he is trespassing. I'm very against just saying call the cops, but there are other mechanisms. But like again, I go back to the fact that like this is not it's not what it started as.
No, that's it.
So I don't think he's the asshole, and I get why his wife is like, "You're kind of embarrassing me now." But it also is, like, clearly something they're both kind of enjoying, and it's something they expect. So if he were to stop all of a sudden, this might kinda upset this kid, hurt his feelings, and maybe he's got abandonment issues, and then you're just gonna basically traumatize him again.
Exactly. So a lot of the comments are sort of saying that it could be that this guy is, now one of the only male kind
Consistent
of
people.
father figures in his
Yeah.
life, and this
Yeah.
could turn into a really fucking lovely relationship. Like,
Yeah.
one of my favorite comments is, "Kid, fuck you. Adult, fuck you too. Kid, did we just become best friends? Adult,
Yep.
yep."
Yep.
But
Oh.
yeah, I chose it because it is a roller coaster. But I found it really heartwarming. Like, I like the fact that he comes to like every day to be hosed down, and they have a little chat. And one day he might graduate from college and come round to this guy's house and sit there and have a beer with him and get hosed down and tell him all about his graduation.
I would love if there's like a follow-up to that. I don't know if that's a recent one, if they do like an update to it, because I want to know more. Like, does the guy maybe what has he learned about him? And maybe now you could invite him in after his soccer game for, like a snack or something instead and try to teach him to use the sidewalk. I don't know. Is it on the way home? Was he doing it because he saw this family and kind of just like to see them? Because maybe he
That's it.
doesn't
What's
have
going on
that.
in his life that
Yeah.
he felt he needed to do that?
Yeah. Did you have the same reactions as I did?
Yeah. Did
I just gotta know. Oh boy.
you?
That was a
Another
good
comment
one.
that I just want to bring up is sounds like his wife's jealous, wants a good hosing.
Or his kids are like, Why is Daddy hanging out with him and not us?
Yeah.
I'm
Why has
sure
Dad
she's
got a new
probably just,
son?
yeah, she just doesn't understand it. She's confused because he probably was coming and being like, that fucking kid is back, Cheryl. I'm getting the hose. Tom, don't get the hose. Cheryl, I'm getting the fucking hose. And now he's out, like, got his little juice or beer, and he's like, hey,
Want a beer?
hey,
Hey,
Saul, do you
squirt.
want a juice box? Yeah, there we go. Okay, kiddo. I don't fucking know.
Oh God.
Oh, I loved that one. Please
That was
keep
cute.
updates if there are any.
Yeah, I'll let you know if I find any. Well,
Well, I think that is it for today. Don't you?
I believed we've talked enough shit.
Definitely. I mean, it's what, like midnight there on a Friday for you, you fucking nerd,
Yeah.
loser, wimp,
I'm
friendless loner.
pretty cool. I'm up at nearly midnight, so
6 p.m.
and
on
I'm
a Friday
34
here.
years old, so
You know what
check
I'm
me
gonna
out.
do? Go put on sweatpants and sit with my cat.
Already beat you to it. In my sweatpants already.
Well, I hope you have a nice weekend with your coronation celebration, and happy birthday, Keith.
Thank
Let us
you.
know what corrections you have.
Yes. Yep. If you could send an email to us.
Yeah, do it that way.
All right. And again, thank you for all our listeners for listening again. We really appreciate it. We love it. If you could just subscribe, give us a cheeky little rating and a follow, and share it with your friends and family, whoever you think may like it. Spread the
If you
word.
if you can review, do that too. We're not even
Yeah.
saying it has to be good. We'd
No, I
love
mean
it if it was
preferably
good.
5-star.
Yeah,
But
preferably good ones, but we're not gonna be like that. So
no, whatever you want to do, but 5-star would be
just
great.
please like us, please.
Right.
Until next time.
Peace out.
G-Bag. Remember when I was telling you the other day about how it's hard for me to leave my home because I don't want to leave my blender?
Yeah, your emotional support blender, you called it, which I thought was weird and maybe a little problematic.
I said it feels like my emotional support blender because of how many smoothies I make and how good I feel these days because of them.
Okay, go on.
Well, I found something the other day that may solve my problem.
Oh, tell me more.
I discovered this thing called BlendJet 2. It's a portable blender that you can use basically anywhere or anytime.
Seems messy.
I know, but it doesn't look like it is. BlendJet 2 is portable, so you can blend up a smoothie at work, a protein shake at the gym, or even a margarita on the beach.
More like a margarita at work, know what I'm saying?
Or that, but it's also small enough to fit in a cup holder, but powerful enough to blast through tough ingredients like ice and frozen fruit with ease. BlendJet 2 is whisper quiet, so you can make your morning smoothie without waking up the whole house, and it lasts 15 plus blends and recharges quickly via USB-C. Best of all, BlendJet 2 cleans itself. Just blend water with a drop of soap and you're good to go. So, not messy at all, I don't think.
Okay, I'm intrigued. And now I want a margarita.
Me too. It looks like there's tons of different styles and colors, so you can have a margarita BlendJet for work, a protein BlendJet for the car, and a
Soup blend jet for the forest?
sure.
Oh, I want the camo one because I am a certified badass.
Just don't lose it in the woods.
Okay, so what are we waiting for? These look awesome.
I know. What are you waiting for? Go to blendjet.com and grab yours today. And be sure to use the promo code TSPOD12 to get 12% off your order and free 2-day shipping. BlendJet feels so strongly that no other portable blender on the market comes close to the quality, power, and innovation of the BlendJet 2. They'll guarantee you love it or your money back.
Gotta love the confidence and the ability to blend anytime, anywhere with the BlendJet 2 portable blender. Go to blendjet.com and use the code TSPOD12 to get 12% off your order and free 2-day shipping.
Shop today and get the best deal ever. I'll cheers you with our BlendJet margaritas next time I see you.
Brilliant. Cheers.